What's up, guys? Are you still glued to your monitors, slinging covered calls on SPWAE and QQQ, or sweating bullets watching 0DTE options decay? I get it. Everyone is chasing Tesla and Nvidia because AI is the future. But let's be brutally honest for a second. What is the ultimate end game of our trading? We want to stress less, compound our bags, and actually live to be 100 so we can enjoy that money. Today is for the guys who are mentally drained from staring at level 2 data all day. We are talking about the ultimate set it and forget it monsters of healthcare and medtech, the undisputed heavyweights, Eli Lilly, Intuitive Surgical, and Stryker. This is the long game. I'm going to give you a 15-minute deep dive that will rewire how you look at defensive growth. Put your phone on DND, grab a coffee, and let's get into it. Before we get into the heavy DD, we need to understand exactly where these giants sit in the market right now. So let's dive into the actual numbers. When you hear Eli Lilly, you probably think of a sleepy boomer pharma company selling insulin. Scrap that. Thanks to their GLP-1 weight loss drugs, Mounjaro and Zepbound, Lilly has essentially become the Apple of the pharmaceutical world. They are selling these pens faster than they can manufacture them. Let's look at their Q1 2026 numbers. They posted a jaw-dropping $19.8 billion in quarterly revenue. We are talking about a massive legacy pharmaceutical company putting up a 56% year-over-year revenue growth rate. Those are the kind of numbers you expect from a hot Silicon Valley software startup, not a 150-year-old drug maker. But why Lilly over their massive rival Novo Nordisk? Here's the kicker. Lilly is looking way past just skinny shots. The weight loss drugs are just the cash cow funding the future. They have absolute blockbusters waiting in the wings, including Alzheimer's treatments like donanemab. This isn't just a company selling a trending drug, it's a high-functioning factory printing generational blockbusters. And sure, LLY is trading at a forward PE of around 34. Value investors might cry, it's too expensive for a pharma stock. But remember that 56% revenue growth? When you are expanding your top and bottom lines at that velocity, you deserve a premium valuation. You are paying up for undeniable momentum. Plus, we have the label expansion cheat code. These GLP-1 drugs don't just melt fat. Clinical data is pouring in showing they reduce cardiovascular risks and massively improve conditions like sleep apnea. As the FDA approves these drugs for more conditions, insurance companies have to start covering them. The total addressable market is expanding right before our eyes. All right, so the drugs helped us shed the weight. Now let's talk about what happens when you inevitably have to hit the operating table. If I had to preview this next one in a single sentence, this company is the printer ink salesman of the medical world. Next up is Intuitive Surgical. You've probably seen videos of their Da Vinci surgical robots peeling a grape. Surgeons sit at a console, look through a 3D screen, and use joysticks to control ultra-precise robotic arms. Right now, ISRG is the undisputed, monopolistic king of robotic soft tissue surgery. In Q1 2026, they pulled in $2.77 billion, marking a rock-solid 23% year-over-year growth. This is the ultimate razor and blade model. Selling a multi-million-dollar Da Vinci robot is great, but the real money is in the instruments and accessories. For every single surgery, hospitals have to buy new single-use robotic arms, staples, and tools from ISRG. The recurring revenue margins on these consumables are absolutely insane, and the surgeon lock-in is unbreakable. It takes years for a surgeon to master the Da Vinci system. If a competitor comes out with a slightly cheaper robot, do you think a hospital can just swap it out? No chance. Surgeons will flat out refuse to use a machine they aren't trained on when a patient's life is on the line. That is an impenetrable moat. On top of that, the US market is fairly saturated, but the real growth story is overseas. Procedure volumes in Europe and Asia are exploding. The global democratization of robotic surgery is still in its early innings, and ISRG is leading the charge. So the surgery is done. Now it's time to get some brand new joints so you can get back out on the golf course. To sum up this next pick in one sentence, it looks boring, but it's the ultimate defensive midfielder that protects your portfolio when the market bleeds. Our final heavy hitter is Stryker. They make orthopedic implants, artificial joints, and surgical equipment. I know it doesn't sound as sexy as generative AI, but pull up their Max weekly chart. It is the textbook definition of up and to the right. When you need a knee or hip replacement, you want precision. Stryker owns the Mako robotic arm-assisted surgery system. While competitors are fighting hard, Stryker's Mako has essentially become the gold standard in orthopedic robotics. Once a hospital buys a Mako, they buy Stryker implants. Period. Look at the macroeconomic demographics, too. The global population is aging rapidly, and baby boomers are wearing out their knees and hips. Doesn't matter if the Fed hikes rates to 8% or if we hit a recession. If your grandma can't walk because her hip is shot, she is getting the surgery. This is the ultimate recession-proof, defensive demand. And while SYK trades around a 35 PE, their real secret weapon is God-tier capital allocation. Management is incredibly aggressive and successful at taking their free cash flow and acquiring smaller disruptive MedTech companies to plug into their massive distribution network. So we know the fundamentals of these three beasts are bulletproof, but are we buying at the top? Let's look at the actual charts. Fact check incoming. As of right now in mid-2026, the broader US market has been taking a breather, and these magnificent companies have entered a very attractive discount zone. LLY has cooled off about 15% from its all-time high of $1,133, currently consolidating around the $963 level. ISRG took a heavier 24% haircut from its peak of $603, trading down in the $457 range. And SYK is trading around $294, pulling back a solid 27% from its $404 high. Are these cheap value stocks? No. Their PE ratios are still in the 30s. But as Warren Buffett says, it's far better to buy a wonderful company at a fair price than a fair company at a wonderful price. The long-term thesis hasn't changed one bit. The fundamentals are intact. But thanks to macroeconomic noise, we are getting a 15% to 25% plus discount on the best healthcare companies on the planet. This is exactly when you stop gambling on zero DTE options and start playing the long game for the next 10 to 20 years. If this deep dive added a wrinkle to your brain and helped your portfolio, smash that like button and subscribe for more real talk. And one last piece of housekeeping. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not financial advice, and I am not your financial advisor. All investment decisions and the resulting risks are entirely your own responsibility. You press the buy button, not me. Take the insights I gave you today and go do your own homework. See you in the next one. Stay green.